We are live. Welcome to Game 4 of the St. Louis Cardinals season between the Cardinals and the Angels. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Taylor Ward on the first at-bat. Mikolas misses outside. We have Mikolas today, Liberatore tomorrow, and then we're back to the ace, Sonny Gray, in Game 3. So Mikolas has thrown 5 pitches here. It is 2-2 on Taylor Ward, and he misses outside. Ball 3. With Miles Mikolas, you kind of have to hope that he's just going to attack the strike zone. Obviously, he can reach a high pitch count and handle that, but you just don't want to fall behind hitters because then they know you're going to be serving them up. So here's the 3-2, and he gets him. Strike 3 on a sinker. Looked like it was going to be outside to Ward, but it came back over the plate for the first strikeout of the season for Miles Mikolas. It's okay to fall behind if you can get him to look at strike 3 anyway. Hi, Zach. Welcome back. I see you in the chat, even though I figured out that it just won't... I'm not going to be able to implement the YouTube chat to the stream layout, but I will still read it. And Nolan Chanul with a base hit for the Angels there. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his name, but solid hitter there. Cardinals come back with their defense from opening day. Jordan Walker in right, Victor Scott in center, and Newt Barr in left, with Contreras at first, Herrera behind the plate, Donovan at second, Mason Wynn at shortstop, and Arenado at third base. So it'll be the same lineup as opening day. If it works, don't try to fix it. Although at DH, so it's the same defense as opening day, but at DH we are now playing Luken Baker, and the reasoning for that is it's going to be a lefty on the mound for the Angels, but we'll get there when we get there. 0-1 to Mike Trout with a runner on, up and in for ball 1. Mike Trout is 1 for 10 on the season. He's been good against the Cardinals, but it's no surprise. He has a homer in 11 games here with 4 RBIs. It's kind of bad for him, to be honest. He's probably better in most other stadiums. Mikolas missed outside. It is 2-1, and here is the 4th pitch to Mike Trout. He misses outside, 3-1. So Mikolas being careful with a superstar who's earned every bit of that respect. Gonna make sure we're live here, and we are. Here's the 3-1. Fly ball. Looks catchable on the infield for Nolan Arenado, and he makes the play. 2 away here in the top of the first. And Jorge Soler will step up to the plate with Chanul on first base. Very big out there on a 3-1 from Miles Mikolas. First pitch to Soler is low, 1-0. Mikolas is a guy who had a great season in 2022 before struggling the last couple seasons. Throws one right down the middle, but Soler does not get much of it, and Victor Scott ranges over and makes the catch in center. Through 1, Miles Mikolas has given up just 1 hit and no runs, so no problem there. Solid first inning, and the Cardinals have Newt Barr, Contreras, and Baker due up in the first. The lineup for today looks like Newt Barr, Contreras, Baker, Arenado, Herrera, Donovan, Walker, Scott, and Wynn. So that Scott-Wynn combination at 8 and 9. Still good, still a great idea. And then they have Baker in to face the lefty instead of Burleson, which I appreciate. Getting a little platoon advantage with the power bat. That means they shifted Donovan down a few spaces from the usual 3 down to 6 because it's going to be a lefty-lefty matchup. So that makes sense as well. more of an on-base guy against lefties. Yep, very excited. Baker's a big home run guy, obviously. Not 100% sure if he can hit for a high average at any point in his career, but you don't really expect that from everybody. Kyle Schwarber has value where he is. If Baker can be a right-handed version of that, then every time we face a lefty, that'll be very, very exciting. And especially on like a wraparound, when you have Mason Wynn coming up at 9, when he gets hot, then you have Wynn on base, then you have Nootbaar, Contreras, and Baker to drive him in, and they just won't let up with Arenado coming after Baker, and then Herrera. Just a very deep lineup against pretty much anybody this year. Seeing Nootbaar in a lefty-lefty matchup will be interesting as a leadoff hitter. I'm excited to see how he looks today against Tyler Anderson. Anderson was pretty good last season with a 3.87 ERA. Mostly fastballs and changeups, but he has a cutter, and then a rare sinker and slider. First pitch to Nootbaar is in there with a four-seamer, only 87 miles an hour. High and outside corner, 0-1. Nootbaar looks in and takes ball one on a four-seam, low and outside, so there was never going to be a chance for that to get into the zone. Easy take for Nootbaar. The third pitch is a strike. Once again, hitting that outside corner, this time with a cutter. So Nootbaar saw it move, had a little bit of ride, and here is the 1-2. Right down the middle, Nootbaar crushes it deep to right field, and it is it gone? It hit off the top of the wall. I believe could be a home run based on the rules of the stadium. Jordan Walker thinks it's a home run. Could be a double. Nootbaar is standing on second base, wondering if he's going to be allowed to continue to round the bases. Marmol looks in. The umps are having a discussion. So, regardless, a huge, huge hit for Nootbaar to start. And they call it a home run. So that is another home run for Lars Nootbaar. Absolute superstar to start the season. Second of the season, 5th RBI already. And the Cardinals lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. Obviously, that was very close to not getting out, and just because of the rules, it is a home run, as it hit above that State Farm wall, above that proficient sign in right field. So the Cardinals will lead 1-0 with Contreras stepping up to the plate. Newt. And Contreras takes strike one on the outside corner. Another wide zone from an umpire, and Contreras really does not like that. Contreras is still looking for his first hit and his first time reaching base this season as he chases the changeup and goes down 0-2 again. So, despite the hot starts across the entire lineup, Mason Wynn and Wilson Contreras are still without a hit this season. Contreras goes out and gets one and lofts it out to center field for out number 1. So he's still looking for that hit. And now we'll get to see Luken Baker for the first time this season. The Angels defense has Ward in left, Paris in center, and Trout in right field, so Trout is no longer in center. Moncada at third, Newman at short, Rengifo at second, Chanul at first, and behind the plate is O'Hoppe. Baker takes strike one from Anderson. Baker's first opportunity of the season. Here's the 0-1. Fouled back, 0-2. They attacked him with an inside fastball there. He couldn't get around in time. Probably should have taken it. It was a ball inside, but he tried to get around on it. Here's the 0-2. It is low, 1-2. The 1-2 from Anderson to Baker is low, 2-2. They keep trying to get him with a changeup, but he has a good eye for that. Last season, he hit 2 home runs in 21 games, but only a 175 average, so hopefully he can pick that up. Here's the 2-2. Fouls it back once again. That time it was a 90-mile-an-hour outside fastball, a much more hittable pitch, and he was just under it. Was able to foul it back. Baker steps in, Anderson winds up and delivers. Too high. 3-2. Milwaukee lost 11-1 hosting the Royals. So they're just getting absolutely destroyed so far this year. They're 0-4. All right, here's the full count pitch to Baker. Ground ball. Very slow roller to shortstop. Oh, and the shortstop can't make the play. He drops the ball. Just a straight up error from Newman. And Baker reaches on that error. So his first time in the order, hits a very slow chopper. Shortstop fails to transition the ball from his glove to his arm. And Baker might have even been able to run that out anyway because it was such a slow chopper. Nootbaar's absolutely loving it from the dugout. 1 away for Nolan Arenado and 1 on. Strike 1 on a changeup. Arenado's hitting .455. He's 5 for 11 so far this year with a home run and 2 RBIs. So a great year so far, but it's only been 1 series. Hopefully he can keep it up. Here's the 0-1 to Arenado. Fly ball. Easy play for the right fielder, Mike Trout. And he makes the play. Trout was on pace for arguably the best career in Major League Baseball history before recent injury history kind of took that out. But he still had one of the best starts to a career of all time. In a similar vein to Albert Pujols, who simply fell off for the later half of his years. Mike Trout simply just hasn't played that much, but still accumulated over 100 career WAR, I believe, so nothing to be ashamed of. Here's the first pitch to Herrera, strike 1. 2 out, 1 on for Herrera. He's hitting .571 with 2 RBIs this season in just 2 games. So these batting averages are obviously inflated after that huge game in Game 3 of last series. There is a beach ball on the field, so I imagine they're going to call timeout and clean that up. It looks like they will not, so hopefully nobody hits that with any balls in play here. Here's the 1-1. Low and in on the cutter, 2-1 to Herrera. Since it's Baker on first, and they're going to want to have him in for the rest of this game, there's really no reason to try to steal a base or anything. Here's a timeout from the umpire, as they are going to tell him to get the beach ball off the field, which makes sense, and hopefully that doesn't happen again. All right, so it's still 2-1 to Herrera. Even an extra base hit likely won't score a slow runner like Baker, so really just working an at-bat and giving Donovan a chance is probably the best approach from Baker here. Just get on base or get a hit. Here's the 2-1. High changeup. Fouls it back. 2-2. The 2-2 to Herrera is high, and he fouls it back, so it's still 2-2. Anderson is a very simple pitcher, usually. Here's the 2-2 to Herrera. A high cutter. Misses upstairs. He was able to put together quite the performance a couple seasons ago. I believe he threw a no-hitter. I could be mistaken, but what he does is effective. He's a good left-handed pitcher, even if he doesn't have any complicated pitches, no slider, just a cutter he uses every now and then the fastball and the changeup. If it works for him, it works for him. Full count to Herrera. Baker will be on the move at the start of the pitch, and there he goes. Fouled away by Herrera. So Baker getting a little bit of a jog in here at the top of this inning. Sorry, at the bottom of this inning. Donovan is on deck if Herrera is able to reach. Anderson looks in. Deals the 3-2. We have a timeout. I don't know who called that timeout. Probably Herrera. Either way, Herrera has dug back in. And we have a warning that Anderson did not make eye contact with the hitter before starting his windup. And Herrera finally digs back in for the 3-2 pitch. With 2 away, Baker will be on the move. Anderson tries to check on Baker. So, as many delays as you can think of here before this 3-2 pitch. After the first one was fouled off. So, Baker's got plenty of time to breathe. And he will see this one. And it's a fastball that is crushed. But it's going to stay in the yard. And the Angels will make the play. Out in center field, it is Paris who made the catch, and the Cardinals only scored 1 this inning, but it was a Nootbaar solo shot to start the game. 1-0 Cardinals. Due up for the Angels are Moncada, Ohapi, and Rengifo. So a good 3 players there. Let's take a look at what they did last season. Should have this. Yep. All right, so Moncada was not on the roster last year, but we can look at Ohapi, who had a 2.7 WAR, about a 100 OPS plus, so just a solid catcher there. Hitting league average at catcher is very difficult, and 20 homers, 7 stolen bases, nothing to be ashamed of there. He even had a triple. And then Rengifo was excellent while he was playing, but he was injured for a lot of the year. 1.9 WAR in only 78 games, 6 home runs, 24 stolen bases with a 300 average for a 116 OPS plus. So when Rengifo's playing, he's been excellent, and he's playing today. So watch out for him, especially on the base paths. We're hoping Mikolas can keep that pitch count low and attack the zone. Maybe I could find some Moncada stats while we wait. Check in on the chat real quick. Nothing new. Let's do that. Let's see what Moncada did last year. So Yohan Moncada. In 2024, he was with the White Sox. He had a 117 OPS plus, so that's pretty good. Well, that was only in 12 games, so let's look at a bigger sample size here. 2023, 92 games with a 99 OPS plus, so just a league average player, 11 home runs. Nothing too special there. All right. Back to the roster and probably back to the game. Yep. Already had a fly ball from Moncada and 1 away from Mikolas. Play was made in left field by Lars Nootbaar. 1 out here in the top of the second. Logan Ohapi at the plate. Fastball with a sinker. Sorry, not a fastball. I guess it was a sinker. It's kind of the same thing. 91, right down the middle, 0-1. Ooh, check swing on a slider. He did not go. 1-1. I do read the chat for both YouTube and Twitch if you are currently viewing. Here's the 1-1. 2 high, 2-1 from Mikolas. Ohapi hitting 250 so far this year, which just means he's either 2 for 8 or 1 for 4. Probably 2 for 8. He has a home run already. And Mikolas misses outside with a slider, 3-1. You really don't want to lose a hitter this low in the order, especially with a guy like Rengifo on deck, who has been hitting a lot of extra base hits recently. Here's the 3-1 to O'Hoppy. Pulled to shortstop, and an easy play for Mason Wynn. 2 away here in the top of the second. And Luis Rengifo will step to the plate with nobody on. That's how you want it to be. As Mikolas is going to be on his 24th pitch of the game. Over in Cincinnati, they lead 6-0 over Texas. Tampa Bay leads the Pirates 4-0. So, within the division, some rivals are, well, one rival in the Reds is doing great, and the Pirates are not. At least today. Strike one to Rengifo. The 0-1 is inside with a slider. 1-1. Curveball in for strike 2. 1-2. Mikolas sets. Rengifo waits. Here's the 1-2. Inside, a little inside with a sinker there. 2-2. So Mikolas has not had very many quick at-bats here, but he still has yet to walk anyone in this game, so that's no problem. Timeout by Rengifo. He's going to take a breather. Rengifo digs back in, and Mikolas gets set. Herrera sets up outside, and we have a ground ball. Foul. First base side. Around the league earlier, Philadelphia beat Colorado 6-1. Baltimore beat Boston 8-5. The Twins got beat by the White Sox 9-0, so that might be a bad sign for the Cardinals, given what they just did to the Twins. Here's a fly ball to left field. Nootbaar will make the easy play. And Mikolas has a 1-2-3 second inning. Due up for the Cardinals are Donovan, Walker, and Scott. 6, 7, 8 in the bottom of the second. I'm not seeing anything going on in the chat, so let's see. May hop over and do a different quiz today. 2010 World Series champions in order. I think I could do this. All right, so they want me to pick from 2010, I imagine. So that would be the Giants. Does that work? Oh, do I have to pick the year? Do I have to, like, match it? What? How does this even work? I have to, like, slide it up here? Okay. Oh, okay, I see what this is. Okay, so Giants, Cardinals, Giants again. The Giants are going to be 2014, and then the Nationals are going to be 19. In 13, it was the Red Sox in a painful fashion for Cardinals fans. So there you go. Giants, Cardinals, Giants, Red Sox, Giants, then the Royals. Astros were 17, Cubs were 16. There we go. This is correct. That's the guess, and we got it. So I know my 2010s baseball. That is not a hard quiz, but just something to do during the commercial break. And let's head back to the game, which will be back soon. Anything going on in chat? Not seeing it. Definitely nothing in Twitch. Nothing new in YouTube. Alrighty. Alright, we are back to the game. FanDuel has a daily pick'em for free, in case you were wondering. I'm not advertising for it, but only do that if you're 100% sure. Alright, Donovan crushes a ball deep to right field. It was low and in. He pulls it into the dugout for a home run. Cardinals take a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the second on Donovan's first home run of the season. But it is his third RBI. It's not a surprise. He's hitting .417 with over a 1. OPS. Fantastic from Brendan Donovan, and the Cardinals keep their onslaught going. So the lefty-lefty matchup is favorable. Both Donovan and Nootbaar have homered in this game. So those are lefties that have earned their everyday role, and they are proving it so far this season. Strike one to Jordan Walker. Just an incredibly, incredibly exciting team so far this year. They ended up giving Luke and Baker credit for the infield hit earlier. Walker pops one up on an inside pitch, a jam shot, easy for Rengifo. He makes the play. Trout talks to Rengifo. There is now one away here for Victor Scott. Yesterday, Victor Scott crushed a 3-run homer for the Cardinals, as we are starting to expect great things out of him in center field. He made a great catch on opening night, and here's the first pitch to him. Cutter, missed way outside, 1-0. Scott knocks one to left field, and it'll drop past the left fielder for a base hit, and he'll turn that into a double. Was unsure if that was going to be caught. It was not. So Scott continues to deliver, stretches that for a double, and continues to produce for the Cardinals. So he doesn't even have to steal second base this time. It's just a double. And Mason Wynn will look for his first hit of the season to drive in Scott with the next at-bat. What an excellent game so far. Everything continuing to go the Cardinals' way. Bottom of the second, one out, runner on second. We have a fastball called low. Anderson probably wanted that one. It was right at the bottom of the zone for ball one. 1-0. Wynn steps in and takes strike one on the outside corner. 1-1. So that was probably a ball, at least by most umps' zones, but Cardinals can't complain. Here's the 1-1 to Mason Wynn. They set up inside, and he fouls it back. 1-2, sorry. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mason Wynn is 0 for 9 this season. He has walked a couple times, so nothing too bad going on here, but you really want to see him swing the bat. The 1-2. Swing and a fly ball to center field. He has to flip his hips, but he can go out and make the play. And Scott will tag and move over to third base, so any passed ball could score him. But there are 2 outs, so that is just a safety move to get him to third base. And Nootbaar will step up for his second at-bat of the day here in the second. Nootbaar obviously homered last at-bat in what looked like it could have been a homer and could have not been a homer, but I knew what the rule was for our stadium, and it was a home run. So there's a low changeup. He saw that right out of the hand and took it. 1-0. That's one thing I've noticed about Nootbaar this season is he's seeing pitches incredibly well. Obviously, his hands have been very fluid. You know, he's been really playing like the guy that we saw the potential of in the past. But those little things are very important as well, and he's really solidified all of those aspects of his game so far in these first 4 games for the Cardinals. So that is a fantastic sign. Back in this lefty-lefty situation. The 1-1 to Nootbaar from Anderson is low, 2-1. This is just an incredibly difficult lineup to pitch to this season because it's hitting on all cylinders, outside of Contreras, of course. So maybe they'll be careful with Nootbaar, but that's a risky game to play. Here's the 2-1. Strike 2 with a slider. Caught the outside corner. 2-2. All right, the pitch. Nootbaar swings right over a slider, and they get him, but Not before the Cardinals put up another run on a home run from Brendan Donovan. So the Cardinals have 2 homers today. It's both by lefties against Tyler Anderson. Lars Nootbaar in the first and Brendan Donovan in the second. And we move to the third. 2-0 St. Louis. Let's see if I can remember the 2000s. I'm not even sure I know. Oh, I do. Okay. Let's see. Yep, I can do that. All right, the 2000s World Series champions. I know the Yankees won in 2000. I know the Angels won in 2002. I believe the Marlins won in 03. In 01, I'm going to have the Diamondbacks because they had that walk-off off of Rivera. I have this on the stream. Yep, okay. So Yankees, Diamondbacks, the Red Sox should not be here. They're like 07. We had the Phillies, then the Yankees. The Cardinals won in 06. Is this correct? Let's see. Yankees are right. Diamondbacks are right. Angels are right. Marlins are right. White Sox, Red Sox, I don't know. I think, the Red Sox definitely won in 04. So the White Sox in 05. Cardinals, Red Sox. Yep. This looks correct. All right, let's give it a try. It is correct. So we nail the 2000s as well. So I know the champions. Might not know every player, but all right, let's go back to the game. 1-1 on Paris. So Paris, Newman, and Ward are coming up. After this at bat, I might be able to grab the stats for those guys. It's getting a little blurry. Here we go. The 1-1. Fouled back 1-2. Paris is hitting .333 this season. So 1 out of 3. It's probably not a very big sample. Obviously, it is only this season. So we will get you a better scope in a second. The 1-2. Foul ball. Over in Cincinnati, the lead has only grown. Cincinnati is now up 9-0 with runners on second and third and nobody out in the sixth. So Cincinnati is crushing the Rangers. The Mets are crushing the Marlins. And here's the 1-2. Outside 2-2 to Paris. The pitch is outside. He tried to get him with an outside sinker. Did not get back into the zone. Ooh, he missed up and in with a slider. Looked like it could have been called strike 3, but you don't expect that because he got crossed up with the catcher. And the walk has been called. So 1 on, nobody out here in the top of the third for Miles Mikolas. Newman steps up to the plate, the shortstop who was unable to make the play earlier. And Paris tries to steal second and does. With nobody out, now they have a runner in scoring position here in the top of the third. So the Angels are threatening. 1 strike on Newman, and Paris waits on second base now. Not a terrible throw from Herrera, just a little bit high. Nothing Donovan could do. He pretty much had that base swiped. Ground ball. Wynn ranges over and makes the play. 1 out and a runner now on third. Paris was able to get over during the play. We'll see if Mikolas tries to limit this damage or if he just wants to get out of the inning and just let the run score. I bet the infield is just playing regular positions, but maybe they're in. Curveball drops in for strike one on Ward. So Taylor Ward steps back in. He's 0 for 1 today, but he's having a good year so far with over a 300 batting average. The 0-1, up and in, 1-1. 4 for 13, but no home runs and no RBIs so far. Hopefully that doesn't change on this at-bat. Mikolas has reached 40 pitches, so this will be his 41st. Right now, the 1-1 to Ward. Fouled away, 2-1. All right. Ward steps back in. Broadcast clears up. The 1-2 from Mikolas is low. 2-2. Ward last season was okay with runners in scoring position, hitting .259 with 4 doubles, 5 home runs, and 51 RBIs. So not too bad. Those are not fantastic numbers by any means, but pretty good. Here's a fly ball to right field. Jordan Walker will be able to make the play, but it's plenty deep enough to score. Paris and the Angels are on the board, 2-1. Here in the top of the third. So the first earned run allowed by Miles Mikolas on the year. Just a well-manufactured run by the Angels. Get a runner on, steal second, move him over to third, drive him in on a sac fly. A good team effort to put up one for the Angels. 2-1 Cardinals as Chenul steps back up. Ooh, called ball 1 on changeup. He obviously had the hit in the first. Here's the 1-0. Right down the middle. 1-1. Mikolas winds up and delivers. Inside, 2-1. Trout is on deck, so you really don't want to mess around and walk anybody. The 2-1 is low, but called strike 2. 2-2. Chenul calls timeout. You could tell he wasn't a fan of that call as he confirmed it with the umpire, but he acts relaxed. And here's the 2-2 from Mikolas. Inside, 3-2. So Chenul already reached in the first, and he has a full count here in the third. Here's the pitch. Got him with a slider. Probably shouldn't have swung, it was outside. But he did, and he chased it, so Mikolas gets out of it with only the 1 run allowed. Well manufactured by the Angels, but the Cardinals still lead 2-1. Next inning, we'll have Contreras, Baker, and Arenado. So let's get that look at the stats from last season for the rest of their lineup if you missed them. I did do fantastic on that quiz, but let's see. All these guys who played last year. Oh, let's make sure we get everything in view. All right. So Chenul was good there, 1.3 WAR. A 101 OPS plus, 13 home runs in 147 games. Drury was not so good, that's why you don't see him in the lineup. Neto was fantastic at short, Rendon, when he played, was okay. Taylor Ward was very good in left field, and he's back out there this season. Don't believe Joe Adele is still on this team. Obviously, Trout had the 1.1 WAR while he was out there, but it was only 29 games, so that's really incredible over only 29 games, but can't really give him too much credit for 29 games of sample size. So there's your lineup. Well, not lineup, but there's the production from last season for the Angels, and we will get back to the game very soon. Is there a playback error? No, we're good. All right. All right, we are back. And they're showing that Newt Bar highlight on the broadcast. Another home run from Newt Bar. He's been absolutely fantastic to watch so far this year. A great reason to tune into these games, along with Arenado. This is the product that we ask for. So here's the first pitch to Contreras. In there with a changeup, strike one. I would love to see Contreras finally reach base this season. He's the only one who hasn't contributed at all offensively, and he was so good last season. So here's the 0-1, inside 1-1. He's not a guy you usually have to worry about, but he is a guy who tends to contribute on his own a lot. He tends to hit a lot of solo homers. Here's the 1-1, inside for ball 2, 2-1. He was top 5 last season, minimum 80 at-bats against left-handers in slug, so that really tells you all you need to know about how good he was last season, especially in these situations. I'm being notified that Toronto has a no-hitter going here in the 6th inning against Washington, so we'll keep an eye on that. Here's the 2-2. He did not go full count, so this is first 3-ball count of the year, I believe. Chance to get on for Wilson Contreras. Here's a pitch from Anderson. It's in there for strike 3. He wanted ball 4 to be called, but it was definitely in the zone. And Contreras' struggles at the start of the year continue. Up steps Luken Baker, who swings over a changeup on the first pitch. He's 1 for 1 with that infield single on the chopper to short in the first. Here's the 0-1 to Baker. Fastball right down the middle. He was unable to catch up to it, and it is now 0-2 on Baker. Another guy you expect to mash lefties. And here's the 0-2. Inside. Maybe Anderson is getting used to facing guys who are good against lefties. Baker takes this 1-2 pitch and pulls it over the shortstop's head for a base hit. And there's another hit for Luken Baker. It's going to be his second of the game and his second of the season and his first game of the year. Taylor Ward made the play in left field to get it back into the infield. And he waits on first base as Nolan Arenado gets another chance to drive him in. 1 on, 1 out here in the 3rd inning. The thing about singles when you have a guy like Baker is you really want to follow him with home runs because even a double probably won't score Baker from first, and there's only 1 out here. So I guess with 1 out, a double would be great, because then you could just drive him in on a sac fly. But let's see what Arenado has in store for us against lefty Anderson. A fly ball here. Pretty easy play in center, and Paris makes the play for out number 2. So 2 outs, runner on first, 2-1 lead for the Cardinals, and Herrera will step to the plate here in the 3rd. Herrera is 4 for 8 this season, and he pulls one foul against Tyler Anderson. 0 for 1 today, and it's 0 and 1 in this at bat as well. Baker on first, 2 outs. Donovan on deck. The 0-1 pitch from Anderson to Herrera is fouled back, 0 and 2. So despite Baker's first 2 hits of the year, Cardinals are threatening to strand him once again unless Herrera can turn around this 0-2 count and make something happen here. The wind-up and the pitch. 1 and 2. There's actually no wind-up. He's pitching from the stretch, but I just wanted to say that. All right. 1 and 2 to Herrera. Outside, 2 and 2. The Mets are up 8-1 in Miami. As we take a look around the league, and Washington just scored 2 runs, so the no-hitter is gone. The 2-2 to Herrera. Base hit. Nope. Never mind. It was a softer grounder than it looked like, and the second baseman was able to get over there it was Rengifo throwing it to first, and Herrera is retired. After 3, it is 2-1 Cardinals over the Angels. Due up for the Angels is Mike Trout, Jorge Soler, and Yoan Moncada. We can take a look at Jorge Soler last season during this break. That is Moncada. Let's look at Soler. So last season, he played for the Giants and the Braves. As usual, the Braves acquired him in the outfield for the second half. So with the Giants, well, okay, let's just look at what he did overall last season. 121 OPS plus in 142 games, and that came with 21 home runs, so still a home run threat, but not quite as much as he was back in 2019 when he hit 48, or with Miami when he hit 36. So that is Jorge Soler for you. Mikolas has thrown 3 innings so far, 49 pitches, so he'll start the 4th with his 50th pitch of the game, and it will be against Mike Trout. And it is a sinker in there for strike 1, 0 and 1. Trout is able to go inside out and pop one up there, but Donovan's able to run it down for out number 1. Good quick reaction from Donovan to make sure he gets out there and prevents what could have been a bloop hit for Mike Trout. Trout is hitting .083 on the year, so that means he probably only has 1 hit this season, and I can confirm he only has 1 hit. But his OPS is .297, so he's likely walked a few times, as usual. Jorge Soler steps in, 1 out, and it is ball 1 to Soler. 1 out, nobody on, 1 and 0 to the home run threat himself, Jorge Soler. Here's the pitch from Mikolas, outside, 2 and 0. The pitch pulled hard at Mason Wynn, but he's able to knock it down, and since it was hit so hard, he can easily just pick it up and toss it to first. 2 away here in the top of the 4th. Moncada will step up next for the Angels. And it's a pulled liner straight at Wilson Contreras at first base, and he's able to make the catch. And Mikolas is through 4 after a quick 1-2-3 inning in the 4th. Due up for the Cardinals are Donovan, Walker, and Victor Scott. It's going to be the second time today that these Cardinals are due up, which means Herrera ended 2 innings earlier in the game. Just something to keep in mind from a lineup construction perspective. If the Cardinals like this Donovan, Walker, Scott trio, then run this lineup again. I'm going to look at Contreras' stats from last season, see if I can see anything. So let's go to the Cardinals page. Here's the pitching. All right. Is that visible? Not quite. There you go. So Contreras had 3 WAR, which is fantastic. He played 84 games, so if he prorated that over the course of a full season, that's an incredible season for a catcher. 15 home runs with that 136 OPS plus. So just really, really good hitting from Contreras, and he just hasn't been able to replicate it this season yet. Even Walker was pretty good there. 0.9 B WAR. I didn't even realize he had positive WAR, but F WAR is a lot harsher on him, I believe, with that 71 OPS plus. Oh, no, that is negative 0.9, so never mind. Either way, let's get back to the game. Donovan's stepping up to the plate. He hit his first home run of the season with his last at-bat. Someone's wearing that Redbird hat in the crowd. That's always fun to see. And Donovan steps up to the plate. 1 for 1 today. Tyler Anderson on the mound, bottom of the 4th. Ball low, 1-0. The 1-0 to Donovan. Crushed up the middle, but they have a shift on. The shortstop playing right behind the bag, and he is retired. 1 out, nobody on for Jordan Walker. Donovan's a guy you just love to watch because of all the hustle, and when he hits homers, you add that to his game. There's nothing you can't see him doing on the baseball field, and you hope a guy like Jordan Walker can take that attitude from Donovan as well, because he has so much talent waiting to come out. So far this year, he's hitting .333, 2 for 6 with an .889 OPS, so that's always fantastic. Hopefully he can keep it up. Here's the 0-1 from Anderson to Walker. A little above the zone, and he chased it, 0-2. The 0-2 to Walker. Too high, he did not go, 1-2. Anderson's already thrown 60 pitches in this game. Here's his 61st. And it is poked foul by Jordan Walker. I don't love seeing guys take uncomfortable swings too far out of the zone. It's a good thing if you know where the pitch is going to be, just to practice, but I would use those sparingly, because if you're taking an uncomfortable swing, it's likely that you think the ball's going to be outside the zone, which means why not just take it, you know? Here's the 1-2. Swings right over a changeup for out number 2 here in the bottom of the 4th. 2 outs, nobody on for Victor Scott. So this is another one of those situations where if Scott reaches, I would like for him to try to steal second base, but that's a tough thing to do against a left-handed pitcher, so I'm not 100% sure. Let's see if maybe he can just hit another double. Here he goes. First pitch, outside. 1-0. The 1-0 to Victor Scott. Ground ball against the shift, but they still had a third baseman over there, and he is out at first. Really a strange shift from the Angels. They had their shortstop behind second base, but they had Moncada playing close enough to the line to get a ground ball along the third base line, and he was able to make the play. So that's how they got Victor Scott. Maybe that was a bunt preventing technique. Probably was. Either way, it worked out for the Angels, and Mason Wynn will come up next inning for the Cardinals. Due up for the Angels are Logan O'Hoppe, Luis Rengifo, and Kyron Paris. Where am I watching the game? I am watching the game on MLB TV. I am out in Michigan right now. So if you live in St. Louis, it's a little bit more difficult because you can't just pay for MLB TV, but a lot of cable companies are going to have the FanDuel Sports Network channel, or you can subscribe through FanDuel Sports Network directly. So few options. That's how you can watch this game. And if you don't want to pay for anything, I'm sure you could find something, but if you don't want to do anything like that, you could also just listen to the game with me, and I will do my absolute best to describe it. There are also official radio broadcasts that are free, so those are a lot of options that you have for watching the games this season. I really hope you can watch the Cardinals games, because this looks like it might be a little bit more exciting than we were expecting at the start of the year. I appreciate the comment, Augie J. Thank you for joining the stream. All right, we are back. Stepping up to the plate is Logan O'Hoppe. Here in the fifth inning, Miles Mikolas delivers the first pitch for strike one. It was a slider right over the middle of the plate, and O'Hoppe took it, likely looking for a sinker or a fastball. 57th pitch from Mikolas is another slider. O'Hoppe took a good cut at that one, but just popped it back against the backstop for the second strike. So Mikolas has O'Hoppe down 0-2. He could really do whatever he wants with this third pitch. He delivers, and it is ball one with a curveball. Here's the pitch. Above the zone, got him with a four-seam fastball on the 1-2 count. O'Hoppe likely expected to see that changeup because he had already thrown it. And it was not the changeup, it was just a fastball. And O'Hoppe cut right under it for another strikeout for Miles Mikolas. So far today, Mikolas has 3 strikeouts, 4 1/3, only 1 hit allowed, and it was that homer, and he has the 1 walk. That walk was allowed to Paris, who ended up scoring after the stolen base and the sac fly. Rengifo fouled back the first pitch, 0-1. Mikolas locks back in and gets set for the second, and it is low on a changeup, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch to Rengifo is right down the middle with a sinker, and he swung right under it a little bit late, probably expecting that changeup. So a good job by Mikolas with the pitch tunneling. These guys don't appear to know which pitch he is throwing, so very, very good trait to have as a pitcher, especially when you put it in the zone as often as Mikolas does. So here's the 1-2. A little inside, 2-2. Over in Houston, San Francisco leads 1-0. And the 2-2 to Renhefo is low with another changeup, 3-2. You really don't want to lose him. I would probably go to a sinker. Try to get a ground ball here. The full count pitch to Renhefo is the sinker, and he pulls it foul. All right, Mikolas delivers again from 3-2, and it's a high chopper to the mound. Mikolas makes the play and lobs it over to Contreras at first, who makes the catch. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Mikolas has really settled in today after a rough 3rd inning. Well, really, even the 3rd inning just had the 1 walk and the stolen base, which led to a manufactured run. So, really good outing so far from Mikolas. You just hope he can pick up those strikeout numbers, although that's never really been his game. This is about as good as it gets of late from Mikolas. So really, if he can keep this up, that's an excellent sign for the Cardinals. 2 outs for Paris, who walked in the 3rd. Easy toss to first base, and Mikolas gets out of another 1-2-3 inning in the 5th. And the Cardinals will come up with Mason Wynn, Lars Nootbaar, and Wilson Contreras here in the 5th. All right, we have another commercial, so let's see if I can find another Sporkle. All right. So 2000s, that's pretty difficult. I don't know the Stanley Cup winners. Super Bowl winners, I think I could do that. It's a little off topic, but let's do the 2010 Super Bowl winners. Just recollect a little bit. All right. So I don't know exactly what order they're trying to go with, but I believe the Packers. I know the Packers won early in the 2010s. I think that was 2010 or 2011. I know 2012 was the Ravens. The Eagles were 2018. The Patriots were 19. The Seahawks were 14. Maybe the Saints, they're giving credit for 2010. Which means I might have to slide everybody down, because that means the Broncos would be 15. I know the Giants won in 2012. Is it this order? Because the Saints feel like they were the first one of the decade. I'm going to go to the Saints like this. Hopefully this is what they mean. All right. So the Patriots, who won first? The Seahawks and then the Patriots? No, I think the Seahawks won directly before the Broncos. No, the Seahawks definitely had one before the Patriots, so this order looks pretty good. Although, okay. Yeah, the Patriots had the comeback. Yeah, Super Bowl 50 was the Broncos. Okay, because the Patriots comeback from down 28-3 was 17. So this looks good. I think I'm going to roll with this. Incorrect. Okay, so the Giants and the Ravens are swapped. Okay, there we go. Unfortunate. Don't know the NFL as well as I know the MLB. Let's get back to the game. All right, Mason Wynn is up. 1-2 count here from Tyler Anderson. The windup and the pitch. Popped. Out of play. So still 1-2 on Mason Wynn. Mason Wynn still looking for his first hit of the season. You really, really would love to see some of those singles from last season come back into play here, and he pulls one into the air. Pretty easy play for Ward. He calls off Paris, who gives him a pat on the back, and Nootbaar will step up with one away in the fifth. Nootbaar homered in the first inning. They threw it up and right down the middle, and he did not miss it, driving it right over the top of the wall for a home run. And he did the little pepper shaker celebration as he digs in here to face Anderson. The pitch is in there for strike one. The 0-1 is outside. 1-1. Lars Nootbaar's been a superstar so far, and he's really been exactly what Cardinals fans have hoped he could be a lot in recent years. They miss outside again, 2-1. So if we start to see teams be careful with Nootbaar, then that'll open up even more opportunities for a guy like Wilson Contreras once he gets going. Here's the 2-1 to Nootbaar. In there with a cutter. Nootbaar swung right over it once again, so the cutter giving Nootbaar a little bit of trouble. He continues to swing over it, thinking it's the fastball, so hopefully Anderson doesn't figure that out. Here's the 2-2. They hit him with another cutter. That one looked more like a slider. It was 79, so similar movement, but just different speed there from Anderson. 2-2 to Nootbaar. One out, nobody on here in the fifth. Here's the 2-2. It is low with a fastball. Full count to Lars Nootbaar in the bottom of the fifth. The 3-2 pitch is low, so Lars Nootbaar draws a walk, and that careful scenario I was just referring to is playing out right now. They were careful with Nootbaar, and Contreras gets a chance to make a difference. Nootbaar on first, one out, one on. Wilson Contreras looking to reach base for the first time in 2025. Here's the 0-2. Too high, 0-1. Sorry, not 0-2. Contreras is 0 for 2. I looked at the wrong portion of the screen. Currently 0 for 16 on the year. Just a couple hits can change that. We don't have to worry right now. Here's the 0-1 from Anderson, and Contreras chases a pitch out of the zone and pokes it foul. He was just trying to get a jam shot single. I don't like changing your approach just because you're struggling, unless you think getting to the barrel to the ball is going to change everything for you. I would just stick with what got you here, and eventually it will come around. Although, studying what you are struggling with isn't always the worst idea. Contreras adjusts his gloves and steps back in. 0-2 on Contreras with Nootbaar on first. And Anderson delivers. Nope. He checks on Nootbaar at first. And they call a balk. So Nootbaar will be awarded second base for the second time this season. It's a very, very rare thing, usually, to see a balk, but we've seen a couple this season, and Nootbaar is now in scoring position for Contreras, so that changes things a little bit. Now a little poke single would make a very, very big difference in the game, because the Cardinals only have a one-run lead, so any insurance is great insurance for this team. The 0-2 pitch to Contreras is too high, but he chases it for another strikeout, and Contreras is still hitless. He has 2 strikeouts today out of 3 at-bats. And that brings up Luken Baker, who's 2 for 2, with Nootbaar still on second with 2 outs. The pitch from Anderson to Baker is low. 1-0. Lucan Baker looking to be a platoon bat this season, and if he keeps hitting like this, he definitely will be. The 1-0 pitch to Baker. Too high, 2-0. If they're careful with Baker, it'll be Arenado on deck, so they can't be too careful. Two 2-0 pitch to Lucan Baker is right in there with a changeup, 2-1. So that was a very, very risky pitch, but with a 2-0 count, you can get away with it, as most people don't look for a changeup in that spot. And Anderson looks on here for his 84th pitch of the game in the bottom of the 5th. Baker pops it up, out of play, 2-2. So 2 outs, runner on second, 2-2 count. Baker's 2 for 2. And the Cardinals look to add 2 more runs if he can hit a homer. A lot of 2s. And here is the pitch from Anderson to Baker. It is popped foul off the backstop. Still 2-2. The 2-2 is up. Too high. Full count on Lucan Baker here. So a chance to walk or strike out here with Arenado on deck. So you can't really be too careful with Lucan Baker unless you would like to face Arenado with Nootbaar on second. Here's the pitch. Fouled back again. So Baker's really making Anderson work. He's up to 87 pitches on the day, as Baker tries to solidify himself as a platoon righty for the Cardinals this season. An absolutely massive man. That's the biggest strike zone I've seen so far this year. The 3-2 is low, so Baker draws a walk, and we will see Arenado here in the bottom of the 5th. Baker on first, Nootbaar on second, 2 outs in the inning, and Arenado stepping up to the plate as the pitching coach walks up to visit Anderson on the mound. Oh, I should change the Twitch. Let me do that. Can't believe I didn't change that yet. I've been very active on YouTube, so we gotta change the Twitch title. Alright, Arenado's stepping up to the plate. I will get there. So, strike 1 from Arenado to Anderson. I don't know if I agree with that, but he loads up with an 0-1 count after checking on Lars Nootbaar. Tyler Anderson about to throw his 90th pitch of the game, so he's likely to have no more innings after this one, after the 5th. So here's the bottom of the 5th, 0-1 to Arenado, and he misses inside. All right, here's Anderson's 91st pitch of the game, the 1-1. Poked out to center field for a base hit, and Nootbaar rounds third. He's going to come around to score, and the Cardinals take the lead. But Arenado gets called out, trying to stretch it to a double. So it'll be a 3-1 lead for the Cardinals after 5. Marmal's saying to hold on and take a look here, but I believe he was definitely gunned down, and that'll be it for the 5th. Let's see, he tried to do a swim move, but I'm not sure. The ball got there first, and the team will play on. So Arenado with a base running error, but he did give the Cardinals an insurance run. It is 3-1 Cardinals after 5. Newman, Ward, and Chenul will come up in the 6th. All right, let's do a quick Twitch edit. Oh, that's not what I was looking for. Might have to do it from here. Ugh. Changing your Twitch title, I can't figure this out. Oh my goodness. Okay. Gonna do this. All right, Mikolas delivers to Newman for strike 1 and strike 2. Okay, well, I gotta keep talking about the game, so we'll get back to this. 3-1, Cardinal lead. Mikolas is about to deliver his 70th pitch of the game to Kevin Newman, who's 0 for 1 and has no hits so far this year. Here's the 0-2. Fouled back. Mikolas pitching quite a good game so far. Facing Newman, then Ward and Chenul so far. Well, those are the due-up hitters this inning. Newman is 0 for 7, and Mikolas misses upstairs 1 and 2. Newman is 0 for 7 on the year. The 1-2 pitch is a ground ball to the left side. It stays fair. Arenado makes a pick and throws it to first and gets him. It was a high throw. I was not sure if Contreras could make the play. Looks like he did. Great play from Arenado, who's getting his Gold Glove moxie back so far this year. 1 out in the top of the 6th. It was a chopping ground ball to the left side, and Arenado had to hustle to get it right over the third base bag. High throw. Contreras had to make a stretch, but he made the play. And Arenado lives up to that Gold Glove name, Platinum Glove name, and gets the out. Ward takes strike 1 from Miles Mikolas. 0-1, 1 out, nobody on here in the top of the 6th. The pitch. Outside, 1-1. Mikolas delivers the 1-1, and he takes it and does not go. 2-1 to Taylor Ward. So Mikolas continues to go deep into counts, but he's getting the outs he needs, so we can't complain. He misses outside with a sinker, 3-1. Mikolas is actually on a very impressive list of most wins in the NL since 2018. Wheeler, Nola, Fried, couple guys, and then Mikolas. So, very impressive list. He's not really the guy you would think would be on that list, but he pitched a lot of games for a lot of good teams in that time frame, so it makes sense. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Ward. A little bit low, and it is a walk. So Taylor Ward draws the walk, and Chenul will come up with 1 on and 1 out in the top of the 6th. It's a little bit late into the game now, so Mikolas' command is not perfect.
Sorry,
What the heck was that? All right. There's a strike. To Nolan Chenul. Mikolas checks on the runner at first. Ward does not go anywhere. And it is 0-1. The 0-1 pitch is pulled over the bag, over the first base bag in right field. Walker throws it into third. And Chenul is held at first base. So it is first and third for the Angels here in the top of the 6th with 1 out. So it's a big, big opportunity for the Angels to get back into this game. It's tough to know exactly where these hits are going until the camera pans over. So Mikolas is in danger here, as the Angels have the tying run on first base for Mike Trout. So you don't really ever want to see this, and Herrera will go up to talk to Miles Mikolas. Make sure they're on the same page. Trying to see if I can edit the stream settings here. Doesn't look like it, so I will try to do that on OBS. Oh well. All right, let's get back to the game. Did we take Mikolas out? We did. So Roycroft has entered the game, and he throws a pitch to Mike Trout that is grounded foul. Roycroft had a 1.4 whip with a 4.19 ERA last season. A lot of that came early on where he was struggling, just with the big league pressure and all of that. But he was able to settle in, so hopefully we get more of that second half version. So here's the 0-1 pitch to Mike Trout. So high fly ball to center field. It looks like a play Victor Scott can make, and he charges and tries to make a throw, but it's cut off by Wilson Contreras, and the Angels put up a run in the top of the 6th. Another manufactured sac fly, and it is 3-2 Cardinals here in the top of the 6th. So the Angels have had 2 scrappy runs scored, while the Cardinals have hit a couple of homers and had 1 manufactured run themselves. Pitch to Soler is outside. Runner on first, 2 outs to Jorge Soler. So right now you really just don't want to see a home run, but Jorge Soler is not the guy you want to say that about because he's a home run threat, if anything. So here's the 1-0 pitch to Jorge Soler. Pulled foul. 1-1. High fastball, strike 2. And looks like Chanel stole second base because Herrera thought there were 3 outs there, and he tried to throw it around the horn, and he was just able to steal a base there for free. So that's embarrassing. Okay. Soler steps in and takes what should be called strike 3, and it is. So the Cardinals are out of that. They get around that Herrera mistake there, and we move to the bottom of the 6th. 3-2 Cardinals. Herrera, Donovan, and Walker due up next. All right. Oh, there we go. That makes more sense. Kind of embarrassing. All right. Surprised nobody told me about my errors on Twitch. Okay. There we go. Today's stream info is correct now. It's Mikolas versus the Angels. And over on YouTube, everything is working fine. So, all right. Game 4 of the season. Still looking great. I'm going to grab a glass of water real fast. And I'm going to keep this set up to play the game when it comes back. All right, we are back. Ivan Herrera steps up to face Reed Detmers. Detmers throws the first pitch. It is a very slow curveball. I believe he's the guy who had the no-hitter. A few years ago, he was a lefty for the Angels, and Anderson's just been very effective. Here's the 0-1 to Herrera. Inside, pulled, foul. So 0-2, Herrera has not had a good day at the plate. But he has not struck out today, so hopefully he can keep putting the ball in play and maybe have one go his way. 0-2. Bottom of the 6th. Fastball right down the middle, and Herrera fouls it away. All right, here's the 0-2. Up and in, 1-2 on Herrera. The 1-2 to Herrera is inside with a slider, 2-2. Herrera steps out and calls timeout. We can look at Reed Detmer's stats, the first opportunity we get, which will be very soon. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Herrera. Right down the middle, he chops right under it. Not a very good swing. Detmers is humble about it, though, and Donovan will step up next to face Detmers. So while we have a chance, let's take a quick look at the stats. So Anderson was very good with a 3 WAR last year, and then Detmers was negative 1.1 WAR as a starter. So they're going to use him as a long reliever this time. But it's in a high leverage spot, so it could be worse if you are Detmers. And let's get back into it. Donovan takes ball 1. Detmers delivers the 1-0. Outside, 2-0. Brendan Donovan has over a 1 OPS so far, and fouls one back, 2-0. So a walk would actually bring down his OPS, but no one's going to be complaining about that at the end of the year unless he keeps that OPS at 1 which we won't be complaining about either. So here's the 2-1 to Donovan. He tries a bunt, but it goes foul. 2-2. He's trying to take advantage of the infield movement. It's not known as the shift anymore, but now they're shifting him even more drastically because there are 2 strikes, and it's unlikely he'll try to bunt. The 2-2 pitch from Detmers to Donovan is a ground ball into the shift. The first baseman makes the play, tosses it to Detmers, and makes out number 2. So, 2 outs, nobody on, and that will bring up Jordan Walker. Cardinals still lead 3-2. As Jordan Walker will step up to the plate in the bottom of the 6th with 2 away, nobody on. See if he can have an extra base hit here to try to set something up. Strike 1 in the inside corner. Detmers delivers. And Walker takes strike 2 on the inside corner once again. Nothing he can do with these pitches, really, because they're perfectly placed on the inside part of the plate. He would really have to turn them around to do much. Here's the 0-2. Chopped the other way for a base hit for Jordan Walker. Reaches first base for Victor Scott to come to the plate with 2 outs and Jordan Walker on first. So that's another hit for Walker. He's now hitting .375 on the year. Didn't try to do too much, waited for the ball to travel, hit his barrel, and fly over the first baseman's head. to right field for a hit. Victor Scott's having a great start to the year. After a first game without a hit, he ended up reaching base, stealing second, and causing a lot of trouble for the opposing teams, and making a running catch on opening night. So, he's carried his spring over to the regular season, at least so far, in this lefty-lefty matchup against Reed Detmers. Here's the 1-0. Too high, 2-0. Jordan Walker on first. He's still young. I don't know if he has the speed to try stealing or anything against a left-handed pitcher. Probably not, but something to keep in mind. Here's the 2-0. Too high, 3-0 on Victor Scott, so you definitely don't want to try anything on the base paths. With Mason Wynn on deck, you want to get that runner to second base any way you can, and right now the most likely way to do that would be a walk. John Jay looks to be in the Cardinals staff this season. He takes strike one there. It's 3-1. John Jay played center field for a long time in St. Louis, so maybe he's given some pointers to Victor Scott this season. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Detmers to Victor Scott. Outside, ball 4, and Victor Scott will reach, bringing up Mason Wynn with 2 on and 2 out in the bottom of the 6th. Hoppy will visit Detmers on the mound. It's only the 6th inning, so I wonder whether they're looking to go to another member of the bullpen or if they'll leave Detmers out here to try to deal with the mess he has created in the 6th. The ump goes out to get Hoppy, and the mound visit is over. Looks like Detmers will remain in the game, as Mason Wynn will step up with Victor Scott on first and Jordan Walker on second. Mason Wynn still looking for his first hit this season, and it would be a great time to get it here in the 6th. Cardinals need a couple more runs of insurance this game, and here's the pitch. Very slow curveball, but he takes it for strike 1, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Wynn. Too high, 0-2. He swung right under a four-seamer that was above the zone. It's going to be a tough thing to battle back, but Mason Wynn had a lot of 2-strike hits last season, so he's a guy to do it if anybody. Got to have a good at-bat, and that's what Wynn always tries to do. Walker on second, taking a big lead. Goes down and pulls one foul. 0-2 still on Mason Wynn. All right. The pitch from Detmers to Wynn is swung on and missed. A very high fastball, and Wynn still has no hits this season so far. Leaving the runners on first and second, and going to the 7th with a 3-2 lead. Roy Croft will face Yohan Moncada, Logan Hoppy, and Luis Rengifo. Let's get back to live, as I was a little bit behind there. Sometimes these MLB TV streams are not perfect, but that's okay. San Francisco leads Houston 2-0 over there in Houston. Toronto leads Washington 4-2, but Washington has 2 base runners. Tampa Bay leads Pittsburgh 6-1, and Miami is trailing 10-4 to the Mets. The Reds beat the Rangers, the Phillies beat the Rockies, the Orioles beat the Red Sox, and the Royals absolutely blew out the Brewers once again, as well as the White Sox beating the Twins. So the Twins have started their season 0-4, and so have the Milwaukee Brewers. And the Atlanta Braves play the Dodgers tonight. The Braves are winless, 0-4, and the Dodgers are undefeated, 5-0. So we'll see if Atlanta can flip the script there. All right, we are back. Nootbaar and Donovan have homered tonight, but the difference in the game is the manufactured run by Nootbaar's walk and the balk and Arenado's single back in the 5th. Moncada hits a fly ball. Nice easy play for Victor Scott, and he makes it for out number 1 in the top of the 7th. Ryan Fernandez is on to pitch for the Cardinals. Very, very good setup pitcher. And he will face Logan O'Hoppe here with one away. Slider too high, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch to O'Hoppe, fouled back, 1-1. Fernandez is a good strike thrower, and he throws, well, he misses with that one. 2-1 on O'Hoppe. Fastball, fouled tip, 2-2. Fernandez sets up and delivers. Here's the 2-2 pitch to O'Hoppe. Foul ball, and it's still 2-2. O'Hoppe's had some pretty good hitting numbers for a catcher. About league average for anyone else. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. He chases a curveball. And Pajes makes the play. They have inserted Pajes into the lineup over Herrera after that strikeout last inning, because he's a better defensive catcher, so that makes sense. Pajes made the play on the bounced third strike there, as O'Hoppe tried to advance to first. Rengifo faces Fernandez and takes ball 1. The 1-0 pitch to Rengifo is low, ball 2. So Fernandez is looking to find the zone here. Kyron Paris is on deck. He was able to reach earlier and steal second base and score a very important run for the Angels in the 3rd. There's a strike to Rengifo, low and in, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch to Rengifo is inside, 3-1. So we will see now if Fernandez can find the zone. As Rengifo digs back in, the 3-1 pitch is a strike. A beautifully placed slider, just catching the inside part of the plate. 3-2. 2 outs here for Rengifo. So unless there's a foul ball, we will know some sort of outcome on this play. Here is the full count pitch to Rengifo. It is ball 4. So Rengifo will reach first as Kyron Paris steps back up. Top of the 7th inning, 3-2 lead for the Cardinals, 2 outs, runner on first. Ball outside. 1 out. 2 outs, runner on first, 1 ball to Kyron Paris. He has a home run so far this season in just the first 3 games. And he swings under one there, 1-1 count. Rengifo on first, a base stealing threat. 1-1 to Paris as Fernandez checks on the runner at first. Contreras gives the ball back. Rengifo was able to return to first base. 1-1 count. Paris at the plate. Rengifo on first base. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Rengifo tried to steal on the play, and Paris ripped it down the line into the corner. It looks like the Angels will tie the game, and it'll be a double. It looks like it'll be a triple. It is a triple for Kyron Paris, and the game is tied at 3 here in the 7th. So a slider gets pulled right down the line, and no one's able to get to it before it rolls into the corner. And the Cardinals bullpen gives up their second run of the game, although Mikolas was probably charged with the one in the 6th. Fernandez gets a mound visit from Pedro Pajes as Pajes tries to settle him down. Make sure he can lock in and get this last out against Newman before the Cardinals come up to the plate. So long as they don't let Paris score here, the Cardinals will still be in a good position in this game. In a close one, 3-3. Strike right down the middle, 0-2. Newman took it and Pajes almost lost it, but he was able to knock it down, and that's all you need to do with just a runner on third. 2 outs here. Kevin Newman is 0 for 8 on the year. He is playing shortstop today. The 0-2 pitch is a slider, ground ball, left side. Mason Wynn makes the play, and Contreras makes the catch. So Cardinals get out of it. But they do give up a run on a triple to Kyron Paris, and we go to the bottom of the 7th, 3-3. Due up for the Cardinals are Nootbaar, Contreras, and Baker, the top of the order. You wonder if they'll go to a righty and the Cardinals will be able to pinch hit for Baker in the DH position. Although he's 2 for 2 with a walk today, so the Cardinals hope that they stick with the lefty. But Gorman is available and Burleson is available if they need a DH to come in and face a right-handed pitcher. Cardinals were pretty good last season in one-run games, so this is not out of the ordinary for the team. But it is a scary sight when you're blowing a lead that you had early on. It was a 2-0 game, then a 3-1 game, and the Angels have continued to battle back here in this one. Let's see if we can find another quiz during the break. Just a quick one. I'll leave the numbers up while I take a look, and let's click over. All right, let's see. So probably not going to do the champions anymore. Ooh, I could do the NBA, though. 2010's NBA? Yeah. Quick check on the game. All right. It's a Google Cloud ad. What is this? I did not click on this. Is this? Okay. There we go. What? All right, I'm definitely not going to be able to do this go around, but I'll get to it. The NBA champions is what I will be doing with the next quiz. All right, the game is back, so let's go over to that. Nootbaar steps to the plate, and they still have Detmers in the game, so lefty-lefty matchup, and they throw another curveball, very slow. For strike one, Detmers loves to sneak that slow curve over the plate to steal the first strike of the at-bat. Nootbaar pops one to the opposite field. It's going deep, but it'll get out of play. Foul. 0-2 on Lars Nootbaar. This one was a lot closer to staying fair than I initially expected, but did end up getting to the wall. Foul. The 0-2 from Detmers to Nootbaar is low on a slider, 1-2. Detmers throwing his 27th pitch. He's used to a high pitch count because he used to be a starter. The 1-2 is outside, 2-2. He had a no-hitter early in his career, at least deep into a game. I don't remember if he finished it. I feel like he did, but I couldn't tell you for sure. 2-2 count with Lars Nootbaar at the plate. He is 1 for 2 today with 2 walks. The 2-2 pitch is inside, 3-2. So Nootbaar threatening to walk once again. And a walk is fantastic if you're the leadoff hitter because it's no different from a single. Contreras is on deck, still looking to reach base for the first time. After Nootbaar takes ball 4 low, so another slider misses the plate. Nootbaar stays patient. That's his 3rd walk of the game. So Nootbaar has been an absolute superstar so far, as Contreras makes his way to the plate to face Reed Detmers. Still a great hitter against lefties. Hopefully this can be the at-bat that snaps him back into place. Bottom of the 7th, tie game. Detmers to Contreras. Nootbaar on first. High fastball in there for strike 1. The pitch. Up and away, 1-1. When you see a guy like Contreras struggling, you really feel it with him, and you can see the frustration. Here's the 1-1 off the inside part of the bat, foul ball, 1-2. And you really want to see him bounce back to what he was because you know he's capable of it, but sometimes the ball's just not bouncing your way. So you gotta stay focused, keep making good approaches at the plate. And that's what Contreras hopes to do here, although Detmers is ahead in the count 1-2. So here's the pitch to Contreras. Contreras fouls it back again, 1-2. So this is the battle we're looking for. Stay in the at-bat, keep fouling things off with 2 strikes. You have a chance to move Nootbaar and give your team the lead in the late innings of a close one here in St. Louis. The 1-2 count from Detmers to Contreras. Too high, he strikes him out, and Contreras still has no plate appearances where he has reached base this season. That's his 3rd strikeout of the game, and the struggles are starting to become an issue. But Luken Baker steps to the plate. 2 for 2 with a walk. Fantastic first game for him so far. Let's see if he can keep it going. Nootbaar on first. The pitch right down the middle. Strike 1. The 0-1 pitch from Detmers to Baker. Up and in with a fastball, 0-2. Perfectly placed pitch from Detmers there. Very, very tough for a guy like Baker to get around on that. Looks like they're going to go up once again. The 0-2 is too high. He does not come around on that one, 1-2. You wonder if Nootbaar is a threat to steal at all in a situation like this. With Baker up and Arenado on deck. With Pajes coming up after Arenado. The 1-2. Misses outside with a slider, 2-2. Because if you think about it, if Nootbaar can steal, even if there's a strikeout here, then Arenado will have the chance to drive him in. before Pajes steps up to the plate. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Baker. Full count on a low slider. So Baker battled back, and the count has run full. So you are unlikely to see Nootbaar running this time unless it's some sort of hit and run. Nootbaar takes a lead. Count is full. And here's Baker. Hitting a high fly ball to left field. It looks like it'll be an easy play. Shortstop makes the call and makes the play. So there are 2 outs now with a runner on first for Arenado. The runner is Nootbaar. And the opportunity is here for Nolan Arenado. This is a very, very key at-bat for the Cardinals in this one, as Herrera is no longer in the game at catcher. So it would be Pedro Pajes, who is hitting 750 with a home run this season. And the Angels will go to the bullpen. Looks like Ryan Zephyr. Is it Zephyr Hahn? It's Zeferjahn. So pronounce that however you would expect. Zephyr Hahn. Ryan from the Angels is coming in to face Arenado. All right. So while he comes into the game, we are on a commercial break, so let's take a look at what his numbers look like. We will come back to the NBA quiz soon. So, was he on the team last year? He was. He had 0.5 WAR in 17 innings. What did that look like? He was a 202 ERA plus, 2.12 ERA. And whip is not, oh, there it is. Whip is 0.765. So a very, very good pitcher, but only in 17 innings of sample size. He was 26 last season, so it'll be his age 27 season this season. All right, the game is coming back. So Zephyr Hahn was very, very good last year, but he'll have a challenging at-bat in this one as a right-handed pitcher facing Nolan Arenado, with Pajes and Donovan behind him, in case he reaches. So, bottom of the 7th, 3-3 game. The Angels only have 3 hits, but they scored 3 runs off of them. The Cardinals have 7 hits, but just the 3 runs to match. So, here's Arenado's chance to give the Cardinals a very big hit with Nootbaar on first. The pitch is a hanging cutter right over the middle of the plate, and Arenado took it 88 miles an hour, 0-1. Two outs here to Nolan Arenado. Popped up on the infield. Rengifo makes his way over, but is called off. And the Angels make the play. That'll do it for the 7th. The Cardinals don't score. They strand Nootbaar after a leadoff walk. And the Angels will come up with Ward, Chenul, and Trout. The top of the order in the 8th. All right. Oh yeah, I should be doing that quiz. But I should have started it right at the beginning of this. The Cardinals will bring in Phil Maton, so I believe he's already pitched this season. But it was during the rain delay game, so let's take a quick look. Maton was not on the team last year, so let's go get his stats. Phil Maton. Last season in 2024, he played for two teams, the Rays and the Mets. He had a 3.66 ERA, which is pretty good. 64 innings pitched, 26 earned runs, and the WHIP was 1.109, so not bad, about a 1.11. Very solid reliever. Nothing too interesting there, but he's in the game now, so let's see what he can do. All right. Pitch to Ward is in there for strike one. He was a sweeper, and Maton is ahead in the count. Misses outside with a curveball, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch from Ward to Maton. I'm sorry, from Maton to Ward. Taylor Ward at the plate. He misses with a cutter, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch from Ward to Maton. Sorry. Once again, Maton to Ward. The red is messing with me because both hitters have red by their name. Sorry. The pitcher and the hitter have red by their name. All right. 2-2 here. Sinker fouled off by Ward. Still 2-2. Oh yeah, the other thing that is messing with me is that there's a hitter named Nick Maton, his brother. So, all right. 2-2 sinker was fouled away. And Maton is pitching to Ward. Here in the top of the eighth. Sixth pitch of the at-bat. Maton winds up and delivers. Got him with a sinker right over the middle of the plate. And there's one away here in the eighth inning. So Maton is able to record his first out of the inning, but Chenul has been a very solid hitter today. Takes strike one on the outside corner with a sinker. So it is now 0-1 on Chenul with nobody on, one out in the eighth. Tie game, 3-3. These are the games you really watch intently as a fan, because anything could make the difference in this one. Sweeper right over the middle of the plate is popped foul, 0-2. So Maton quickly gets ahead in this count, as Chenul settles back into the box after his timeout. He is 2 for 3 today. The windup from Maton and the pitch. Too high, strike 3 with a cutter. He chased it well above the zone. And he will regret that one. 2 outs now for Maton. As Mike Trout steps up to the plate with nobody on. So, not as much damage he can do, but still enough to change the game if he gets a hold of one. Cutter missed outside, 1-0. Maton to Trout. Here in the top of the eighth. The 1-0. Check swing, foul tip, and it is 1-1. Trout barreled that, but just accidentally on a foul check swing there. If he had just swung through it, he probably hits a homer, but didn't think that was going where it did, so it is 1-1 on Trout. Good pitch from Maton there. The pitch swung right under it. The cutter, 1-2. Trout only has one hit this season, and Maton looks to keep it that way with this 1-2 count advantage here. High leverage pitch for Maton, the 13th pitch of the inning. He delivers. Sweeper way outside, 2-2. Quick look at some other games. The Tigers lead the Mariners 2-0. Cleveland leads San Diego 1-0, and San Francisco leads Houston 5-0. The 2-2 pitch from Maton to Trout in this tie game in the 8th. Hanging sweeper, but Trout can't adjust and swings right under it for strike 3, and Maton goes 1-2-3 in the top of the 8th. Up next for the Cardinals are Pedro Pages, Brendan Donovan, and Jordan Walker in this tie 3-3 ball game. I'm going to do a quick NBA quiz here during the commercial break, while we wait to get back to the game. 2010 NBA champions. So, I know the Mavericks beat the Heat. I think that was 2011. The Spurs won in 14. The Heat won back-to-back right before that. Warriors won in 15. So this looks good. The Lakers won in 2020. Were the Lakers 2010? Probably. So they just had that decade drought. So yeah, this looks right. And then it was Cavs, Warriors, Raptors. There we go. That's going to be correct. Boom. All right, so we know some NBA. Let's get back, as the game will likely be back soon. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. It'll be Pages, Donovan, and Walker facing potentially Ryan Zeferhan. Maybe not. He only faced one hitter at the end of last inning, but they could be going to a new man anyway. It's kind of crazy that the NBA had the same finals. Was it 4 years in a row? 3? Because I know you had the Cavs in 2016 and then the Warriors against the Cavs in 17 and 18. So I think it was just the 3, because then the Raptors were able to make it in 19. Yeah, so it was just the Warriors in 4 straight. Okay, so we are back at the ballpark here. Left on left crime is one of the keys to the game. Makes sense. Nootbaar and Donovan both have homered for the Cardinals today, as it is Garrett McDaniels who will come in to pitch for the Angels. I'm going to see, should I try to get his stats? Nope. It's another lefty for the Angels facing Pedro Pages. They throw a slider up and away, ball 1. So this is Pages' first at-bat of the game. He went 3 for 4 in his only other game of the season so far. The 1-0 pitch to Pages. He is low, 2-0. Pages is a very good defensive catcher, and he comes in as a replacement a lot of the time for Herrera, which makes a lot of sense. But now he's up in a high leverage spot against McDaniels. The pitch from McDaniels to Pages is in there for strike 1. Let's make sure we're live here. Pages fouls the 2-1 off for a 2-2 now, 2-2 count. A couple days ago, Pages hit a 3-run homer. I guess that was yesterday. Giving the Cardinals an 8-1 lead in that one. But tonight, it's 3-3, and the at-bat means more here. The game is much closer, and anything Pages does could be the reason the Cardinals win this one here in St. Louis. Bottom of the 8th, the 2-2 pitch from McDaniels. Ground ball, left side, easy play. And the shortstop makes it. 1 away here in the 8th. That's Newman making the play. Donovan will step up to the plate now. He's homered today. He's 5 for 14 on the year with 3 RBIs. Big at bat here with Jordan Walker on deck, facing a lefty. The first pitch from McDaniels to Donovan is a strike. Low in the zone with a sinker, 0-1. Very high leverage moment here. Close game. The 0-1 is low. Just below the zone, 1-1. Donovan seeing the ball well so far this year. Reaching base in any capacity would be a great thing in such a close game. Here's the 1-1 to Donovan. Breaks his bat and fouls it off. He's going to have to get a new one. 1-2. Earlier today, Donovan was able to get to an Anderson low and inside fastball and carry it into the bullpen. Hopefully he can have a similar result here against another lefty in McDaniels. Here's the 1-2. Fouls it away. It was a slider on the outside corner. The 1-2 pitch from McDaniels to Donovan. Foul ball, still 1-2. The Tigers have now taken a 6-0 lead in Seattle in the first inning, so that's an exciting one. The Cubs will visit the A's today in a late one, starting in a few minutes. The 1-2 pitch to Donovan, fouled away. Another big storyline around the league is those Yankees bats. Although I've heard from some former ball players that guys like Lindor have been using those since last season, and they're not as big of a deal as everyone's making them out to be. And the Brewers pitching has proven that by losing to the Royals as well. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. I don't see any Cardinals using that type of bat, so I'm not concerned with that story at this time. It might make sense in Yankee Stadium, though, so maybe that's a particular about it. Here's the 2-2 to Donovan. Pulled to the right side, but an amazing play made at first base by Shamuel, and there are two away in the bottom of the eighth. Jordan Walker will come up in this situation. It was just a hard grounder. Hit right at him, so an unlucky location for Donovan. And Walker will step up with a big chance here in the bottom of the eighth. And 2 out, nobody on versus McDaniels. Inside for strike one. It was a little bit off the plate, but they give it to him. Strike one on Walker. 2 outs, 0-1 count. Walker's 3 for 8 this season, but no home runs yet. So that would be an exciting time for the first. Slider catches the outside corner, 0-2. So McDaniels is threatening to have a 1-2-3 inning here with this count advantage on Walker, who will take a timeout to try to slow him down. I think that's a good idea. Try to settle in, make McDaniels think about it a little bit. And here we go. McDaniels settles in. The 0-2 pitch to Walker is low. 1-2. Walker trying to battle here. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Also has a strikeout today. So let's see. The 1-2 pitch taken right in there, but it's not called strike 3. Pretty shocking. McDaniels can't believe it, but he's not going to complain to the ump, which is a wise move because he's expecting that next time. Right in there, man. A sinker from a lefty. Here's the 2-2. Walker goes down and pulls it through for a base hit. Gets through third base and short. And Walker stops at first base with a single. So that gives Victor Scott an opportunity and potentially, I would probably not try to steal with Walker because there's still a lefty on the mound. That's the thing. The Angels have a lot of lefties. And that'll give Victor Scott an opportunity if Walker gets a hit Walker already got a hit. That'll give Mason Wynn an opportunity to lead off next inning for sure without having Victor Scott and Wynn. We want the singles guys to lead off before Nootbaar and Contreras. So Scott should swing the bat here so that it can be Wynn, Nootbaar, Contreras, and then our power bat, and then Arenado. The deep inning in the bottom of the ninth sounds like a good idea to me. So I would not try anything. I would just tell Scott to swing away. All right, 1 on, 2 out here for Victor Scott. McDaniels on the mound. The first pitch, inside for ball 1. Sinker off the plate. Scott saw it well, and he settles in. 1-0 pitch to Scott is low. 2-0 now. So McDaniels has thrown 21 pitches, only 13 strikes. Well, actually, that's not the worst strike percentage. All right, here's the 2-0 to Victor Scott. A nice slider right in there for strike 1. Froze Scott a little bit. 2-1 count. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. The pitch. Outside. McDaniels working quickly here, but he's missing. So it's 3-1 on Scott. With Mason Wynn on deck, warming up right now. Grabbing the bat. Taking a look. Here's the 3-1 to Scott. Scott takes it the other way for a base hit. Walker will stop at second, and it is first and second now for Mason Wynn. So Walker has a chance to score, potentially, if Mason Wynn can drive him in. A huge chance now for Mason Wynn to get his first hit of the season. With the game on the line. 2 outs, 2 on. Mason Wynn at the plate in the bottom of the 8th of a tie game. If a Cardinals fan was told this at the start of the year, they would take it. Even with a chance for the playoffs on the line. McDaniels struggling a little bit, and they're going to talk it out on the mound. Potentially even make a bullpen move. Looks like Ron Washington. I'm not 100% sure. I believe that's Ron Washington. Seems to just be talking to McDaniels here. Puts the hand on the shoulder, but he's been talking to him. He's asking him, I bet he asked him, do you want to stay in the game? And he will. So it'll be McDaniels versus Wynn. 2 on, 2 outs in the 8th. McDaniels wipes the sweat off his hat. Puts it back on, readjusts his glove, and Wynn steps up to the plate in this big moment in the bottom of the 8th. With a runner, Walker on second, Scott on first. The pitch. Pulled down the line, but it's an incredible catch. Ooh, I don't know. Looks like they got Victor Scott at second base. I thought the third baseman caught the ball, but if he didn't, looks like they got the force out at second, and that is still a tie game after 8. Mason Wynn verbally showing his frustration after he hit a rocket that was not rewarded. And the top of the order will be due up for the Cardinals in the 9th, but first they have to face Jorge Soler, Yoan Moncada, and Logan O'Hoppe in the top half of the inning. So let's take a quick look at the Angels bullpen. See if McDaniels should have been as successful as he was. Did he pitch last season? It doesn't look like he was on the Angels last season. He might be young. Garrett McDaniels. Here we go. Looks like he was just all in the minor leagues, so I'll just pop these up here real quick. Here are his minor league numbers with the Dodgers. Looked pretty good. A 3.19 ERA in the minors in 2024. And so far he has a 3 ERA for the Angels. So pretty good pitcher so far. Looks like that was spring training. So that was his first appearance as an Angel. And he did give up a rocket, but no runs. So there you go. All right. Let's get live here. Ryan Helsley will come on to pitch the ninth against the Angels. It'll be Soler, Moncada, and O'Hoppe. Here's a chance for Helsley to get a win, potentially, if the top of the order can deliver in the bottom half, if he shuts down the Angels here in the top half. And here's Jorge Soler in the top of the ninth. Helsley's pitch is low. Slider way below the zone, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch from Helsley to Soler. Pulled for a base hit by Jorge Soler. It's a single. Lars Nootbaar makes the play in left field. Keeps it there. And Soler will reach to start the ninth. So Helsley has to deal with a base runner already. It's a tie game in the ninth. Helsley's been very good in save situations, but has struggled when it isn't a save situation, which is the case right now. So hopefully he can settle in as he faces Yoan Moncada. The pitch to Moncada is a strike. 98 on the outside corner for strike one. Soler on first, nobody out here in the top of the ninth. Tie ball game, 3-3. Helsley takes a breath and delivers. A nice slider, swung right over by Moncada, and it's 0-2. This would be a very big out to get without giving up any positioning, because you don't want to run around second with less than 2 outs. Well, I guess with less than 1 out. But there we go. Strike 3 on Moncada, and that's the first out of the inning with a runner on first. O'Hoppe will be next as Helsley got him with a slider. When you have a guy like Helsley, you just expect that he'll strike out 3 people before 3 people get hits, and that it has worked a lot. 99 right over the middle of the plate, right by O'Hoppe, strike 1. Top of the ninth, the 0-1 pitch from Helsley to O'Hoppe. Popped up, out of play, behind the plate, 0-2. Rengifo is on deck, 1 out, 2 strikes on O'Hoppe with Soler on first. If there's anyone you want on the mound for this situation, it is Ryan Helsley. The 0-2 pitch to O'Hoppe. Slider that he's able to stop, and Soler cannot get anywhere. 1-2. Pedro Pajes doing a good job blocking that pitch. I like that the Cardinals are not forcing pitchers to pitch to Herrera who are uncomfortable with it late in the game. You just get Pajes in there and make sure that the defensive plays are made. The 1-2. Right down the middle for strike 3 on a slider. Caught the bottom part of the zone, and O'Hoppe has some words for the ump, but that was a strike. 2 outs here with a runner on first in the top of the ninth. Rengifo will come up to the plate after strike 3 on O'Hoppe. The pitch swung right over by Rengifo for strike one. It was a slider. He was probably looking fastball. The Cubs grabbed a 1-0 lead in, I guess not Oakland, in Sacramento over the A's. Here's the 0-1 to Rengifo. Ground ball up the middle, but Wynn played over there and made the play. So there's 3 outs for Helsley. And it'll be Nootbaar, Contreras, and Baker in the bottom of the 9th with a chance to win it for the Cardinals. I wonder if they'll go with yet another lefty and keep Baker in the game instead of having to face a guy like Burleson or Gorman with the game on the line. Against a righty, I would probably go Gorman if Nootbaar and Contreras both go down. And if one of them reaches base, I would go to Burleson. Because you have Arenado on the deck on deck if one of those guys reaches. So you'd want a guy like Burleson who could hit a single with a higher average and give Arenado a chance to win the game with another single. But if there's 2 outs, you go with Gorman because he can just hit a bomb and win you the game with one swing. And if it's a lefty, of course, you're going to stick with Luke and Baker because he can do both against the lefty. And it's going to be Brock Burke. So let's take a look at Brock Burke. Did he play for the Angels last year? He did. He had a 3.54 ERA. He is another left-handed pitcher, so they've stuck with that strategy all game. And the Cardinals will stick with their lineup as they have all game as well. Nootbaar against the lefty. Brock Burke on the mound here in the 9th. The first pitch to Lars Nootbaar from Brock Burke is a fastball right in there for strike one. 0-1 to Nootbaar. Here's the 0-1 from Burke to Nootbaar. It's outside. 1-1. Burke to Nootbaar. 1-1. Up and in. 2-1. If Nootbaar can reach base again, he already has 2 walks in this one and a hit. If he can reach base again, that would be huge for the Cardinals because he is the winning run at the plate. Burke gets set and delivers. Strike 2 on Nootbaar. It was a little above the zone, but he gets the call on a slider. 2-2 to Lars Nootbaar. Still seeing the ball extremely well. And the pitch. Fouls it away. Seems like Nootbaar's eye level was changed by that initial call, which is unfortunate, but it is 2-2. As the Cubs are now up 4-0 over the A's over there. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Nootbaar. Ground ball pulled fair and past the second baseman for a base hit. So Nootbaar's 2 for 3 today with another hit and continues to deliver for the Cardinals. Just incredible. He's reached base 4 of 5 times today, just doing the leadoff hitter's job as you would hope for from anybody. Excellent job by Nootbaar, and Contreras still looking to reach base. He's actually going to bunt. A surprise bunt from Contreras. No one covers second, and Contreras moves Nootbaar into scoring position with a great sacrifice. And Luke and Baker will step up to the plate with a chance to give the Cardinals a victory here. Contreras doing whatever it takes to win. It's a good bunt. It's got to hurt a little bit if you're Contreras, but he's been struggling, and he acknowledged it on that one. Delivered a good bunt, and now Nootbaar is in scoring position with 2 great chances to drive him in here. Baker pops one foul, 0-1. Lucan Baker and Nolan Arenado will both get a chance to win the game for the Birds, assuming no pickoff moves are made here. The 0-1 pitch from Burke to Baker. Inside, ball 1, 1-1. Nootbaar leading off second. Burke staring him down. Turns around and delivers. Ground ball, foul. Baker was inches from winning the game for the Cardinals there, but it just got foul, 1-2. Burke turns around, looks at Nootbaar, faces Baker, and delivers the 1-2. Got him! Strike 3 right down the middle. Baker could not pull the trigger. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th. Nolan Arenado stepping up with the chance to win it for the Birds. With Pages on deck, you wonder if maybe they'll intentionally walk Arenado, and they do. So Arenado will take first base. I imagine the crowd is not happy with that, but Pedro Pages steps up to the plate, clapping his hands at that decision, because he knows now it's his responsibility to make them pay and win it for the Birds. Here comes Pages with Donovan on deck. Runner on second here in the bottom of the 9th. Arenado on first. The pitch from Burke is low. 1-0. Pedro Pages is 3 for 5 this season, so although Arenado is hitting 400, Pages is hitting even higher, but in a small sample size. He has never hit a walk-off, and he still won't as he hits a fly ball. Out to right field, Mike Trout makes the play, and we go to extras here in St. Louis. So the intentional walk pays off. Pages cannot deliver. And we will have to see where the Cardinals go on the mound in the 10th. Helsley only threw 11 pitches, so maybe he could stay out there. It'll be Kyron Paris, Kevin Newman, and Taylor Ward. Paris has reached base twice this game. Scary leadoff hitter to have with all that speed. Hopefully someone can get him. Let's make our way back over to the team stats, see if we can prepare ourselves for a bullpen member for the Cardinals, just in case it's not Helsley. There's Liberator, who will be a starter this year, so definitely not him. Kittredge, who left in free agency. Could be Fernandez. Well, no, he already pitched today. So it could be King, could be Romero. Could be Matz, I guess, but he already pitched a long relief appearance after the rain delay. So I would expect Romero, King. I guess I should look at the current roster. But yeah, I'll make our way over to that. I know Romero and King are on the roster. Romero, King, Leahy, or Matz are the only options, really. So you'd probably stick with Helsley. All right, let's take a look. Rengifo is the automatic runner on second base. And Romero has come into the game for the Cardinals, so it's not too surprising. All right, Kyron Paris up. Rengifo on second. Romero on the mound. He delivers. It's low. Ball one. Through a slider. Pulled it down below the zone. Top of the 10th, 1-0 count here. And he misses outside. So Jojo Romero struggling to find the zone against Kyron Paris. Paris is 1 for 2 today, with Rengifo on second. If you walk him, it's not that bad, but you really wouldn't want that run to score, as he fouls off an outside changeup, 2-1. If that first run scores, usually the team on the home half can match it, but the second run is much more difficult to match. So hopefully Paris doesn't reach. Here's the 2-1. Fouls it away, 2-2. Romero looks on. Here's the 2-2 pitch with Rengifo on second to Paris. Outside, full count to Kyron Paris here in the top of the 10th. Jojo Romero delivers. It's low. Ball 4 to Paris. Sets up a potential double play, but it's also a likely winning run on first base now for the Angels. Newman will step up to the plate. He is the shortstop, and he has no hits so far this season. Ideally, the Cardinals can capitalize on that here, as he is the second hitter in the top of the 10th. Romero to Newman. The first pitch, he squares around a bunt. Pulls back, and Romero steps off. So, still no pitch. Cardinals have the corners in. The bunt is fouled off. 0-1. Looks like they might charge Contreras to try to make a play to third. They might do the wheel play where the corners charge, and then you have second base cover third. Sorry, second base cover first, shortstop cover third. But that's a very, very difficult play to run. So let's see. They run it, and it's popped up. And it drops, and Arenado has to turn around and get the out at first. So Donovan makes the catch, but it's a successful sacrifice from Newman, and there are runners on second and third for the Angels in the top of the 10th. So that's the downside of a potential walk, is now you put the likely winning run in scoring position with 2 batters to face. It was popped up, and Arenado just couldn't get there. Looked like he could have thrown him out at third as Wynn was there, but he lost the grip of the ball and had to turn and throw it to first. So he was frustrated with himself there. They wanted to run the wheel play. Didn't quite work out, and Romero misses with ball 1 to Ward. Chenul's been very, very good this game, so you don't want to... Well, they missed with the first pitch to Ward, and they will walk Ward. They'll put him on, so the bases are now loaded with 1 out in the top of the 10th. I thought maybe they were just trying to avoid pitching to Chenul with the bases loaded, but you figure if there are runners on second and third, the damage is potentially there anyway. The other downside of this is if he strikes out or pops out, Mike Trout is on deck. So here's the pitch. Pop up. Out of play, Arenado cannot get there. It's into the seats. 0-1. So it's Chenul and Trout. If you're an Angels fan, you'll love to hear it. If there's any 2 guys you want up, if you are an Angels fan with the bases loaded and extras, it is these 2 players. But as a Cardinals fan, you can hope for a ground ball. It's not out of the question. Here's the 0-1. Right down the middle with a sinker. 0-2. He could not pull the trigger. And now Romero has a nice lead in the count, 0-2. I would say you get about one waste pitch. From a 1-2 count forward, you really don't want to mess with it because the bases are loaded. They can start playing a different game with you to try to work the count. Here's the 0-2. Outside, 1-2. Missed way wide with a sinker. And this is where I would say you really need to attack. Try to get that strikeout or a ground ball here. The 1-2 pitch in the 10th to Chenul. Fouled off the face mask of Pajes. Still 1-2. Bases are loaded for the Angels in the top of the 10th. If you're Romero, there's nowhere to put Chenul. Keep putting it in the zone if you can. Here's the 1-2. Ground ball, right side. It looks like it'll score the run. Donovan makes a really ill-advised play and tries to go to the plate. And the run scores for the Angels. 4-3 Angels in the 10th with only one out and Mike Trout coming to the plate. He was a slow chopper. You would hope Arenado would get the out at first. Sorry, not Arenado. Donovan would get the out at first. He did not. He tried to go to the plate, and that was a mistake. The Angels took the lead 4-3, and there's still only one out for Mike Trout. That means you really, really need to pitch to him. They go inside. He leaned into it potentially, but did not hit him. 1-0. Any ball that drives in a run is a very, very unfortunate thing for the Cardinals here. And Trout crushes one to center field, and that will hold up for Victor Scott, but the second run is going to come around to score. But they double off Chenul, who tagged from first base. So the Angels did score that second run. It's 5-3, but the Cardinals are out of the inning. So there will be a chance to homer and tie it in the bottom of the 10th. And due up for the Cardinals are... Well, we're holding up. Yeah, due up for the Cardinals are Donovan, Walker, and Scott. They need to score 2 runs in the 10th to tie it. I'm just bummed out by that Donovan play because, you never see something like that from him. So, he was just trying to do too much. He thought he could win the game for the team, but he may end up losing the game for the team by not taking what he's given and getting that out at first. Ryan Johnson will come on for the Angels here in the 10th. Cardinals hoping to extend this game any way they can. Donovan steps up to the plate right after his mental error. And he will face Ryan Johnson, who has struggled so far this season. And he is a right-handed pitcher. Here it comes. In there for strike 1 to Brendan Donovan with a low sinker. Let's see if I can check Johnson's stats. The 0-1 pitch to Donovan. Johnson is getting set to deliver. Pajes on second, and it's outside, 1-1. Here is the 1-1 to Brendan Donovan. Fouled away, 1-2. Looks like last year Johnson was not an Angel, so can't check anything there. Gets set and delivers the 1-2 to Donovan. Another ball fouled to the opposite field and out of play. Cardinals down 5-3 here in the bottom of the 10th. The 1-2 pitch with Pajes on second is inside, 2-2. Getting Donovan on first base is kind of the key because he is the tying run, so you don't need to try to do too much. Just have a good at-bat here. The 2-2 pitch to Brendan Donovan. Fouled away again, so a very, very good at-bat so far. Got to keep his head on his shoulders. Jordan Walker is on deck. Victor Scott after him. With how Scott is swinging the bat and Walker, I would say the Cardinals still have a solid chance here if Donovan can reach. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Johnson. Pulled to right field, but it's an easy play for Mike Trout, and there's one away. So a very disappointing end to the night for Brendan Donovan. After a mistake, despite a home run in the game. But Burleson will come in to pinch hit for Jordan Walker. I like this move, as the Angels will give the scouting report on the mound. It's the pitching coach. So there's a mound visit for the Angels here with Johnson on the mound. It'll be Burleson and Scott with one out here in the bottom of the 10th. All right, Johnson settles back in on the mound, and Burleson is at the plate. He has a chance to potentially tie the game with a homer or get on base, and fouls it back. 0-1 on Burleson. Burleson just needs to have the best at-bat he can have here with Victor Scott on deck. Potentially Gorman available to pinch hit if the opportunity arises. 0-1 to Burleson from Johnson. Here's the pitch. Outside, 1-1. So, chance to work the count here. If you look at Johnson, he's thrown 6 strikes on 9 pitches. So, it's likely he'll try to throw another strike on this 1-1 count to Alec Burleson. Here's the pitch. Outside again, 2-1. So, he might be losing some command. 4 balls on 10 pitches. Not something you can really draw a pattern off of yet, but if Burleson can reach, he will be the tying run, so the winning run would step up to the plate. Here's the 2-1 to Burleson. Swing and a drive through for a base hit, and Pajes will go station to station. Burleson will reach first base, so it's first and third here in the bottom of the 10th. He does the bird celebration, and Victor Scott is due up to come up next. We'll see if he is the batter, as Burleson doesn't try to do too much and keeps the rally alive. They will pinch run Michael Ciani for Alec Burleson, as he would be the guy playing in the outfield anyway, which I really love, as he is the tying run. So Ciani with a chance to potentially steal second as well, with Victor Scott and Mason Wynn as your singles guys at the bottom of the order. I like the management moves from Marmol, at least as far as tying this game goes. Here in the bottom of the 10th, here is the chance for Scott. Outside, 1-0. Runners on first and third, and 1 out. You wonder if Ciani is a candidate to steal here. He's not quite as fast as Scott, if I remember correctly, but he is very fast and still pretty young. Here's the 1-0 to Victor Scott. In there for strike one on a cutter. Johnson is a right-handed pitcher, so this would be the first opportunity the Cardinals really have to try to swipe a base. And it would be moving the tying run to second base if they try it. Johnson gets set and delivers to Scott, who swings right under a sinker. And it is 1-2 with one out. Runner on first and third here in the bottom of the 10th. He's 2 for 3 today. If I'm the Cardinals, he's being held on by the first baseman, but I just can't shake that you should probably try to steal second base with Michael Ciani here, even if it puts the whole game on the line. The second baseman actually just called for the pitcher to step off, and he did, and he'll settle back in. Here with a 1-2 count. Bottom of the 10th, runners on first and third. 5-3 deficit for the Cardinals. Victor Scott, the winning run at the plate. Johnson locks in, and here's the pitch. Change up down in the zone, below it, 2-2. Big opportunity here early in the year for Victor Scott to cement himself and his impact on the team. Here's the 2-2 pitch, pulled to the right field side, but it's a play Mike Trout will make. And there are now 2 outs with Ciani on first in a 5-4 ball game, as it does drive in a run, but it's not what you're looking for if you're Scott. Mason Wynn is due up to hit, but if you're not going to try to steal, you probably should send Gorman up there. We are not going to do that. Mason Wynn steps up to the plate with a chance for his first hit of the season. Ciani on first, Wynn at the plate. You gotta send Ciani to second here. You just have to. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. Ciani stayed put at first. 0-1 on Wynn. Wynn has been spoken about as working on his power tool this offseason, so ideally he could show that off right now. Here's the 0-1 from Johnson. Outside with a cutter. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch from Johnson to Wynn. Cardinals down by 1 in the bottom of the 10th. Swing and a fly ball. Gets out of play, 1-2. Cardinals down to their last strike of the game. Mason Wynn is 0 for 4 today, but the game is not over till it's over. We have seen this time and time again. The 1-2 pitch from Johnson here in the bottom of the 10th. 2 outs. Ciani on first. Swing and a miss, and the Angels win the first game of the series. The Cardinals take their first loss of the year by a score of 5-4 in 10 innings, and Cardinals fall to 3-1 on the year. I will see you guys next time, as it is getting a little bit late, and that is a very disappointing ending to the game. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I will see you next stream.